So we live in a very interesting time right now, and it's at the same time terrifying and exciting. And it's really all come to fruition in the past few years, really the past 10 years. Most of you who've been in the workplace know that back in 2008, the economy really fell apart. A lot of people lost their jobs, and it was a really hard time for a lot of folks. And we look at the past 8 years, we think, well, the economy has recovered for quite a few people and things are better, right? But if you really look at the data, that's not necessarily true. Now, the data is meant to scare you into opening your eyes and into some action, but it's also meant to make you realize that there's a tremendous opportunity out there for you that if you're not taken advantage of, you may just get left behind. It's never been more important to be entrepreneurial. It's never been easier to do. And one of the biggest opportunities because of that, and people ask me this all the time, if you were going to start all over, Brad, what would you do? And I would do exactly what I did when I started all over, which is I would consult. And consulting is it's an interesting word. It's loaded with all of these preconceived notions such as, world-class expert, highly credentialed PhDs, MBAs, and all of this that somebody else is telling you you're worthy, because that's what we see in the real world in the news, and we think those are the only types of consultants out there. But the truth is, anybody can be a consultant. It depends on your expertise, and I'm going to give you a little tip about how you can be a consultant tomorrow or today, and as well as how you don't really have to be an expert. Speaking of that, what is an expert? I mean, you could think of an expert as somebody who knows more than somebody else on a topic, and that's true. If you're working with a business owner, if you're working with an individual, talking about their health, if you know a little bit more than they do and you're able to contribute to their success, to what they want, you are officially consulting. Now, whether you get paid for that is up to you. You simply ask for money. Now, for a lot of people, that's hard, and I'm going to also give you another way to do that that's surprisingly easy. But first understand, the trends are in effect. You need this information. So a consultant is somebody who helps a segment of the market, and it doesn't matter if it's a business or an individual, helps them solve a problem or fulfill a desire or a want. And the interesting part is you don't have to be the one who fulfills the desire specifically yourself. In fact, you don't have to know everything, as long as you know where to find the people who do. And a great case in point was years ago when I was working, I had a corporate job working for a big financial company, and I was bored. I was wanting to do some other stuff, make some extra income, and I answered the ad in the back of a magazine that says be a commercial real estate or a commercial property consultant and do cost segregation studies. Now, if you know what that was, and you're ahead of me at the time. I had no idea what it was, but they said simply go out, talk to commercial real estate owners, ask them a few questions, and we'll do the rest. I said that sounds interesting, so I did. I didn't know anything about this. I learned enough to talk about it. I went out, talked to commercial real estate owners and their CPAs, and I said, hey, are you familiar with cost segregation? Are you doing it? Are you looking to save some money in taxes? If not, I may have a solution that you'd be interested in. Let me make an introduction to what we've got, and let's set up a phone call. So long story short, I was out there selling or consulting on information that I was not an expert in, but I had the experts behind me. So I would charge the commercial real estate owner a price that I marked up from the consulting company that did this. I was not their employee. I was totally independent, and I made probably about $50,000 or $60,000 extra in my part-time simply by going out, asking questions of business owners to see if they have a problem I might be able to solve. And I did. Now that was great, and this is kind of how I stumbled into consulting. After that, I built a business doing online marketing and lead generation and all of this fun stuff that I realized is actually not always that fun. There's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of work, and it can be very frustrating at times, especially when you want to keep things simple. Consulting has been the simplest business model I've ever personally done. And first tip is how you can start today. If you have a job, go to your boss tomorrow and say, hey boss, a couple questions. I hope you don't mind me asking, but just curious about the company. What's going on right now that is kind of challenging? What's a nut you're trying to crack? What's something that's been frustrating? What's a position you wish you could hire for that just can't quite afford yet? What you're doing is you're probing for problems, and you don't need to solve their problems. You may not know. They may say, well, our digital marketing efforts are not paying off right now. Why do you ask? You might not be a digital marketing expert, But you could find one, you could Google digital marketing expert, you could ask your friends on social media, who do you know that's good at this? You could call Brad Costanzo and see if this is something I can help. And companies like this will give you money as a referral fee, and it doesn't have to be your boss. It can be your best friend. It can be people at poker night. It can be people at brunch. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're probing for questions, because you can always solve these problems later on. So, boom, you're a consultant. If you know how to ask powerful questions and just probing questions, you don't need to know the answer. Now, the next step is people are like, oh, that's great. Okay, I understand. Maybe I'm an expert in something. Maybe I can find experts in this. How do I get clients? Well, I just told you one way, which is ask questions. Another one is to tell people what you're doing. You could do this on social media or with your friends and say, yeah, my name's Brad Costanzo. Obviously, they probably know who you are, but you're calling up a friend or somebody you know. Hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm working with companies, helping them to grow their business by showing them a better way to do X, Y, or Z. And you're not asking them for business. You're saying, who do you know? Where should I go for more, for people who may be able to help me out on this? So simply by putting out there what you're doing and engaging people's brains to let them help you. Now, they may be your perfect prospect. This has worked on me before, where people came to me and said, Brad, I'm doing this, and here's why, and here's what I'm looking to meet. Who do you know? And I said, well, heck, I'd be a great prospect. Here's some money. Somebody got $4,000 out of me for that, and I was really grateful that they did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what they were doing. Now, those are the ways to start small and kind of get over these hurdles of, do I have what it takes? Am I good enough for this? Will people really pay me money? You can baby step your way in. But once you're ready to actually make the next step into this, into creating either a brand new business for yourself that you can run and provide a ton of lifestyle freedom, create your life by design, but you can also use this if you have a business, you're selling information products, you're selling services, you're selling anything else. A lot of times clients will want extra help. And if you're not offering it to them, then they're not going to pay you. And what you'll be surprised at is oftentimes they'll pay a lot more money than they're paying for your service. So you could sell, granted, like you could sell a book on how to do X, Y, and Z for $100, and you can sell a coaching or a consulting program for $5,000, and it actually could be similar information in there. It's really surprising what people pay because they want the shortcuts. They want your help helping them out. Now, there's a process that makes this easy, and I want to keep it simple for you so that you're not intimidated by, well, what would I have to do to actually set up a consulting business? Well, the very first thing you have to do, if you're using my blueprint with it, is you have to know who you're helping. So you need to find who is my market segment. So I'll just call this who. Who do I want to help? Do I want to help business owners like I do? Do I want to help people lose weight? Do I want to help people get better health? Do I want to help them find the love of their life, man or woman, or get over relationship problems? Really, health, wealth, and relationships are, everything kind of falls into that as the three biggest coaching, consulting areas. But once I identify who I'm going to help, and I'll tell you exactly how to do that in a shortcut in a moment, you got to say how. Or what's my offer? How am I going to help this person? Am I going to work with them one-on-one? Is it going to be group coaching? Is it going to be a live event? How am I going to help transfer my knowledge to them? And that's actually one of the easiest things, but what am I going to do? Am I going to help them get more leads? Am I going to help them convert those leads? Am I going to help them sell better? But you have to know who, how. You have to know where your market is, where to find them. Where do they congregate? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they searching for answers on Google? Are they at local meetups? But who are they? How are you going to help them? Where do you find them? The next thing you have to do is how do you attract them? So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. So you need to attract them in to request your help. I don't go out and cold sell anybody on this and push my way in. I simply make an offer to help somebody with a compelling or valuable piece of content that either solves a specific problem that they want solved or that it helps them achieve something they want to achieve right now. Or I just provide them the framework, much like I'm doing here, the framework to a system that they can now get clarity on. They go, oh, I see the bigger picture. This is great. So you're going to track them with value It could be a webinar, it could be a case study, it could be really anything. Now, after this attracts them with value, you're going to get some people who see this, read this, or watch this and say, you know, I like this guy. This is exactly what I've wanted. How can I get more help? Well, that's where you offer to help them, and you're going to offer to help them for free. So this help can come in the form of a call. Let's jump on the phone. So if you come to one of my webinars, one of my white papers, they'll say, listen, here's the framework of this. Here's how it works. If you want my help, I've set up some time to talk to people for free, and we'll jump on the phone. We'll do a triage assessment of what you need, and is this going to be appropriate for you? And if it is appropriate for you, then I'll probably make an offer to help you. But I'm only going to make an offer to help if you fit certain criteria. But worst case scenario, you leave, no harm done, and we part as friends, or you've got a great blueprint and you walk away with it on your own and you do it. But more often than not, people who I talk to, they love what I have to say. And I kind of assume the role of a doctor prescribing a solution. I ask them questions, just like I told you to do a minute ago, and then I make prescribed solutions. Like, well, I don't solve their problems, but I say, well, what if you did this and that, and do you think this would work? Here's what I might do in that situation, and I get them nodding in agreement. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes they're like, no, I can't do that for X, Y, or Z reason. And I'm like, great, maybe I can't help you, and that's fine. In fact, of all the people that I talk to here, about 1 in 3 goes on to work with me, and the other 2 out of 3 go on to, some of them have become friends, they follow me, and occasionally, they reach back out for help in the future. But I only talk to people that I want to talk to here. And the way I do that is before they get here, I ask them a quick little fill out a survey. They fill out a survey, they tell me about them. If I don't want to talk to them, if they don't meet my criteria for my perfect client, I don't even get on the phone with them. So you see, this actually helps you get over the fear of talking to people that A, you can't help, or that B, are just going to waste your time. But that is this is a great area where they qualify themselves. Here, help for free, do the phone call, that's exactly what we just talked about. On the call, prescribe the solutions. Here, offer more help for money. It's very simple. Who are they? How are you going to help them? Where are they? How do you attract them with something valuable? How do you help them for free first, just to qualify them, get them on the phone to finish out the qualification, and then make the invitation to enroll them, not even sell them, but enroll them into your offer to help them for more money. Now, by the way, this can be done, I do this in business, but this can be done in all types of fields. One of my best clients, a guy named Adam, came to me a couple years ago, and he said, he teaches lifestyle, dating, social skills, and he said, I've been working with a lot of lower end clients. They're just not paying me what I'm worth. How do I get more clients? And I told him, well, one of the biggest problems is you're selling your time for dollars, and you shouldn't sell your time for dollars. You should really switch this up to sell based on the value of the result you're getting. And he went out, and instead of making like $1,000 a client, he turned around, and within that first month, he got a client to pay him $34,000 for the exact same stuff he used to teach for $1,000, because he kind of understood now how to sell based on the value it provides. And that's really what a consultant does, because people aren't buying your information, they're buying your confidence in your ability to get them the results they want. And you build that confidence by talking to the right people, by following the right process. So if you're doing health consulting, same thing. I mean, people pay $50 for a gym membership, $100 an hour for a personal trainer, but they'll pay $10,000 to the person who they believe can tell them exactly what to eat, what not to eat, and how to move. You'd really be surprised at what's possible out there. The best part about this is it's very few moving parts. You don't need to talk to a lot of prospects and people. This can be done with a few thousand website clicks to your offer versus hundreds of thousands when you're trying to sell a product. In fact, you don't even need a website to do this. When I first started off, I simply started asking people questions about their business, how I could help. Occasionally I had an idea, I offered to help them, and they said, oh, would you do this for me? Or would you do this with me? I'll pay you. And boom, I became a highly referred out consultant until I decided I wanted to make this a little bit more automated. So I set up the system, built what you see here, and it really is this simple. Now, it's not always easy. It takes a little bit of time to figure out who your market is, how you're going to help them, where you're going to track them, how you're going to find the people. But that's what I typically do with clients. And I let them know that it's a service that I love working with people who believe they have the opportunity to help others and the desire to help others, but just don't quite know where to start. Like they feel like if you give me the ball, I'll run with it, but you got to tell me which way to go. You got to block for me. And that's what I do with a lot of my clients. Now, if you want my personal blueprint on this, I'm happy to provide you help at absolutely no charge. Actually, just like this. See, I'm following what I preach. I'm happy to jump on the phone with you and see if there's anything that I can help you with to give you a second opinion on the strategies that you're either following. And I'm happy to tell you, like, listen, I don't think you've got a good idea. Or I'm happy to tell you that I think you've got a great idea. If you make these tweaks and do this, it's going to work a lot better. So if you'd like my help, it's very simple. You can simply visit strategicpartnerprogram.com. I could write it out right here with my chicken scribble handwriting, and you can see where to go. You can simply go to strategicpartnerprogram.com, check it out. I'll explain how I'll help you, if I'll help you, and if you want to take my advice, get on the phone with me and see if this is right for you. I think it'd be a really wise decision. If you have any other questions, you know how to reach me. By the way, if you like what I've been telling you, but this isn't quite your bag, and you're like, this is interesting, but not really my fit, but you like what I have to say, you can also follow me on my podcast. It's a hit podcast on iTunes. It's called Bacon Wrapped Business. Sizzling hot business advice, guaranteed to make you fat. Profits. So you can, I'm not going to write that down, but baconwrappedbusiness.com. You can find it on iTunes and the web. And I'm Brad Costanzo. I hope this has been really helpful for you. Let me know if you want any other help here at strategicpartnerprogram.com.